Welcome back to a brand new update video. This one's quite a personal one, really. 500 subscribers. I mean, with the goal of this channel not being so much popularity or fame, it's still quite an achievement, especially for me and everyone involved, really. It's not just me. Though it did start out as a sort of own vision, as it's progressed, I've wanted it to be a bit more open, to be more involving, and I most certainly, hopefully, I'd say I've achieved that. Yeah, I definitely think I've achieved that. Friends, family, people around the world. It's incredible. There has been a reason why I've not uploaded in a while, like not properly. I've done a couple of bits and bobs, but nothing like this. I have tried doing this video several times in the past. This was before we hit 500. To really bog it down, it's just mental health being absolutely terrible. I've been in a really bad way. In short, just had a mental breakdown, lost my job, been out of work for a while, been trying to find something better than what I've got, or what I had. I have an interview in a couple of days for a job at Halfords, and I'm really optimistic about this. But I'd be lying if I said I did this by myself. Absolutely not. I've had the best of help. I couldn't have done this alone. Absolutely not. I don't know where I'd be. But if my suspicions are correct about, some of the stuff that was going through my head and what was going on, if I didn't have the help, I wouldn't be sat here right now. I wouldn't be here. And that is the goddamn truth. You could say the friends that I'm living with have no longer become friends, they became family, and then they became my fucking heroes. It's incredible. It really is. Anyway, enough of that. Now for what you came for. I'm going to start with the from the least worked on to the most. So starting off this video, the film stuff and the gaming stuff. Zero Tolerance Squad, projects like that are going to be put on hold for a little while. In favour of just focusing on getting live stuff sorted. There is a little short film I have planned, which it's not very production heavy, but it's quite effective in terms of its context. The film itself is called Crimson Sky. Or was it Crimson Skies? Oh, Crimson Sky. That's it, yeah, Crimson Skies. And it takes the shit that's been going on from my head and I just put it in a film. It's not so much how can I put it? It's more or less taking control of the situation in an artistic way. Best way to put it. And in terms of games, Hellraising has been worked on a while ago. There is a short film that they did in 2012 or 2011 with the same name. The guy you see at the beginning on his iPod, the idea is the game that he's playing is the game that I'm making, if that makes sense. And the game's ending ties directly to the start of that film, which he's under the impression that the characters come out of the game, but really it's just a really big coincidence. Memento has been worked on. A couple of interesting tracks I've finished. It's very close to home, a lot of the stuff I've done in Memento, and absolutely hate to your own horn, but I will say it's probably the best music stuff I've ever done. Especially the vocals. I'm getting better at keeping myself in key, but I do plan to involve others. It's still quite early. There's still quite a few tracks I need to do. A lot of writing and a lot of ideas I've got flying up in there. But yeah, and there's going to be some music videos coming soon in the future. For a couple of tracks for the Graffiti album, and definitely Memento. Definitely Memento.
Right here. No worry, dear, not going anywhere. I'm just saying that we gotta beware. The snowball's coming and we gotta take cover. We'll make it cause we got each other. No need to fear cause I got it on wrong. And I'll embrace you till the sunlight's gone. I'm right here to tell you why, that you have no reason to hardly cry. Mississippi head, you're lucky you're not dead. But we were talking about your darling home. Mr. Boogaloo, nobody loves you. Only life knowing where I sent with you. That's alright. I've got you.
Right, Doom WADs. This is the topic. Star Wars Imperial Legacy has had a little bit of it, stuff done to it. Mostly a balancing patch, really, making everything more consistent. It's quite literally, what's it called? It's a flag called Strife Damage, which brings down the RNG in terms of the damage. So you shoot a stormtrooper with an E11, for instance, it does like 10 damage. You shoot him again, it does 25. So it'd be more or less like range between 10 and 15 or something like that.
I've got
And Horror Converted 2 has had a significant update. So the update I'm working on at the minute is called Crossfire. Originally it was meant to be an army themed update, but I decided to broaden it out so it's more combat themed. When I say combat themed, it's more or less focused on the enemies. There's been a whole roster of enemies that have been added to the mod, and a few balances as well. For example, the Dark Recess, the one that causes TV static, no longer pulls you randomly towards it. What happens is, whenever there's TV static, it means it's moved. Emmeline's had a balance, so when she gets you, it doesn't feel so random. When she swipes for you, there's like a second delay in terms of heartbeats. If you keep on the move, you'll be absolutely fine. She won't be able to get you. But if you just stand still or corner yourself, prepare to be finished. And also, the converted mode has been brought back. It's more or less focused on making it more, the enemy's more threatening. So enemies more aggressive, they've got more health, ammo's more sparse, the player's slightly slower, resources are lowered, so they don't get as much health and armour from pickups, and the number of enemies are significantly reduced, so the ones that do appear are threatening. Because at first it felt a bit too arcadey, a bit too run and gun, so I've kind of brought the pacing significantly down, so everything feels a lot more ominous, really. There are a couple of other bits we've been working on in terms of Doom. What are the chances has been worked on. There's now over 30 weapons, so exceeding the record of weapon mega collection. And there's about nearly 70 enemies added. That's including the variants. So yeah, over 70 enemies and over 30 weapons. And I'm still going. I'm just going to cram as much as I can. Because that's the idea of what are the chances. You don't know what you're going to bump into. I'm hopefully aiming for about 100 weapons. 50 to 100 weapons, maybe. 50 is the minimum. 50 weapons. And in terms of monsters, well, probably over 100 monsters. Different monsters. Hopefully excluding variants. Sometimes you'll have an enemy that's recoloured in with different palettes, and the different colours do different things. For example, the cultists, the different coloured robes will represent what weapons they use. So, I hope you found this video insightful. It's a short one, it's just so I'm not waffling on for a good hour, but yeah, I've had my ups and downs. I've had some really good days. Today was fantastic, but I've had some days where I just, put it this way, I wanted to shut my eyes and then wake up. That's how bad it's been. In terms of how I got to that point, that's something I'll talk about another time. It's still a bit early. I struggle to talk about it now. Oddly enough, I was able to speak about it earlier, like a few months ago, no problem. But I don't think the reality of the real the reality of the matter hadn't kicked in. I was still like coming to terms of what the fuck just happened. What I just tried to do. For those who don't know, I had a big mental fucking breakdown. I tried to. Well, didn't exactly try, but I went to an overpass with the intention of jumping off and then ending my own life. Turns out, I realised that the drop itself wasn't sufficient enough for it to do the job. It'll probably put me in hospital, or worse. And luckily, it came to my senses, and I had my friends to help. Not my friends, not so much my friends, they're my fucking family, for fuck's sake. They're closer than just friends. I would say that they saved my life that day, and they've continued to be there, and they've never given up, and they've supported me all the way. This job interview wouldn't have been possible if it were not for them. They helped me even get this far. But I'm slowly putting myself back together. I'm slowly getting myself back on my feet. And hopefully, in time, I'll be able to give that back. But if all goes well, I'll have an amazing job. And I'll come back stronger than ever. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're all doing well, doing great. Keep your chin up, hang in there, and stay tuned for whatever comes next. But believe me, I am thrilled to be here today, to be making this video right now. Thank you all for everything, for your support, for playing these mods that we've put together, and I'll let you in a little something about these mods. When I initially made them, when I very first started, they were just mostly they were mostly for me and my friends, but I decided to put them out there, and I had no intention of anyone playing them. For example, like Horror Converter 1, I had no intention of anyone playing that. And when I started seeing people playing it and enjoying it, I was like, right, okay, fuck it, this one's for the people. And that's why Horror Converter 2 is being worked on. That's because of you. You guys made that possible. It would have been just another mod that I've released and just forgotten about. But because of you awesome people, Horror Converter 2 is right here, right now. And I'm currently working on, like I say, that Crossfire update. And yeah, it's had me jumping out of my fucking seat, shitting myself. So I've done something right. Well, yeah. Thank you, everyone. Whatever for everything, really. Whether what made it seem insignificant as just a kind word or anything. Trust me, anything that you guys do and say goes straight to my heart. I'll see you next time. That's my phone. Right. 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 What the fuck am I doing? And do you know what? My SD card's only full, so fuck this shit. I'll see you next time. Just for information, I was nearly sick. You have been watching the MrSkulltag channel. Be sure to check out the links in the description below for more short films, entertaining videos, gaming videos, or check out our blog for future updates.